Some days, I feel like all I have left is the food. There's not a whole lot to compete with these days besides the food. And sometimes I just spend my whole day thinking about what I'm going to eat next. Anybody else out there with me on that? And this is good and this is bad because I managed to avoid the freshman 15 and I do not want to gain the COVID-19. I can hear you laughing out there. Okay, so while people, maybe some of you were in the stores and you were mad buying toilet paper and sanitizing wipes, see, my family and I, we didn't do that. What we did is we made a list of our favorite snacks. And we got out there in the madness and we collected all these snacks so that we would be happy during this time. So while you're at home right now and you're, refilling your toilet paper rolls and you're wiping down the doorknobs, we're sitting on our couch eating. So pray for us that we're have a little more self-control in that area. That being said, I have to admit that during a time when there is less to compete with, the flavors of my food are popping. They're just tasting better than ever. See, to simplify is to amplify. And sometimes less really is more. Love. Love is the first flavor of the fruit of the Spirit. We've been talking on the fruit of the Spirit for 9 weeks now. This is the last one. And we started at the end and we're ending at the beginning with love. Loving people today is different than it was even 4 weeks ago. Our world has changed. I feel like we blinked and now it looks different. We went to bed one night and we woke up and everything had changed. Today, as you know, is Palm Sunday. Palm Sunday. The greatest demonstration of love ever was Jesus. Next Sunday, we'll celebrate Easter. We'll celebrate what he did for us on the cross. Today is the beginning of that. Jesus came to a world in disarray, much like what we're experiencing today. He came to a world that needed a lot of help, much like what we need right now. And that was the greatest demonstration of love. Galatians chapter 4, starting at verse 4. If you want to open your Bible and follow along or just listen, that's fine. But when the time arrived that was set by God, he sent his Son, born under the conditions of the law, to redeem those of us who have been kidnapped by the law. We have been set free to experience our rightful heritage. You can tell now that you are fully adopted as his own children because God sent his Spirit into our lives, crying out, Papa, Father. Doesn't that privilege of intimate conversation with God make it plain to you that you are not a slave but a child? And if you are a child, you are an heir with access to inheritance. Now that's a good word. At the proper time, at the right time, God sent his Son to earth, coming under the earth's restrictions in order to free us from those restrictions. This and only this provided every person on this planet an opportunity for adoption, an opportunity into family, into sonship. And because of this, now we have this natural cry within us towards God, our Father. Those of you today out there, and you're like, sometimes I just feel this void in my life. Sometimes I'm reaching for things or people, and it seems like no matter how much I reach, I just cannot attain what I'm looking for. Why don't you ask yourself the question this morning, is that the cry in my heart for my Father in heaven? Is that the cry out for him? See, once we identify that, and and then we begin to align ourselves with our adoptions, those feelings, those voids can go. There's freedom in belonging. There's freedom in being part of a family. We then realize that we have family responsibilities. Because within a family, we have all the perks and all the jobs of a son and daughter. This freedom that was purchased was freedom from the law of the land. There were rituals and rites that had to be done. There were rules that had to be followed. And Jesus, when he came, completely fulfilled every one of these. And instead, now, freedom in our new law is summarized in one simple precept. And that is to love the Lord your God with all your heart and to love your neighbor as yourself. The long list simplified into one move. See, it all hangs on love. It all hangs on love. And I'm with you. I know for me right now, and maybe many of you also, if there ever was a time of testing our love, it is now. It is now. We are distracted. We are distanced. We are fearful. We are judgmental. We are scared. We are segregated. Life has gotten much more complicated in its simplification. But with the simplicity comes the complexity of the flavor of love. The fruit of the Spirit is love. See, we don't make the love. The Spirit of God inside of us has deposited the love inside us to give, to grow, to flourish, and to bloom beautifully, even in harsh environments. My daughter Faith is turning 15 in June, but when she was 4, she received a gift for her birthday. And this gift was a betta fish from good friends of ours. And she named this betta fish Curlsey. It was a cute name. Curlsey was an amazing fish who we loved dearly. And at the beginning, I really took care of this fish. I followed all the rules that you need to follow with a betta fish. You know, the way you change the water, the temperature, how much you're supposed to use, feeding her every day, all those things. But you know, as time went on, it didn't happen as much. We still loved her greatly, but you know, things just got busy. Yeah. And then we moved. So it started as a gradual thing where I was just like, oh my gosh, I just don't have the time today, so I'm just gonna fill it up with tap water. She'll be fine. And oh my gosh, when was the last time we fed Rosie? Has it been a day, a week? I don't know, 2 weeks? I don't know. She still looks good. And then it went on and on. And then we decided that we were gonna move from one end to North America, basically to the other. And we were gonna road trip it to get there. And this took 6 or 7 days, and Rosie stayed in the trunk of the car. I don't even think we brought her into the hotel. I'm not sure. Maybe once in Colorado where there was like snow and really cold, we might have brought her in there. Anyway, Curlsey just lived on. And this fish, even in the most harshest environments, managed to live. I think she may have lived for 7 or 8 years. You know, betta fish aren't supposed to live that long. This fish was living off love and love alone. See, love makes the difference. Love can and love will flourish in even the most harsh environments. We are used to loving certain ways, but we blinked, and the world looks different. This provides us opportunity, I believe, to love differently, to break down those walls and those barriers of how it used to be, what used to be normal, and to create and to innovate love actions. But first, there's 3 questions this morning that I want to talk about that need answers right now. The first question I have, and maybe you're asking the same one, is can my love be felt when I cannot touch? my love be felt when I cannot touch? See, no greater love was ever demonstrated than love expressed on the cross when Jesus outstretched his arms on that cross that Easter. There was no touching, there was no feeling, there was no hugging, there was no embrace that day. But that gesture of love was unmatched. See, sometimes our love is felt greater by our reach when touch is not an option. How much are we willing to give to a world in hiding? How big of a stretch are we willing to make? 2 weeks ago today, my husband Craig, his dad passed away. And although he had health issues, it did come to us by a surprise. People couldn't hug us. People couldn't come see us. But we felt the love. There were meals given through gift cards, through e-gift cards. There was money sent through Apple Cash. Say, hey, I don't want you to have to think about dinner tonight. It's on me. We felt the love without the touch. Can my love be felt when I cannot touch? It can. The second question is, can my love grow when I can't find nourishment? Can my love grow when I can't find the nourishment I need? See, right now we feel alone, and not everyone does well with alone. You know what I'm talking about if that's you this morning. And if I'm feeling a lack of love in my life, how can my love grow? If I'm not being cared for, can I have the nourishment? I cannot give what I do not have, right? There's a saying that says that hurt people hurt people. And also that lack of being loved frustrates my ability to love. But friends, this is the encouragement that when you need nourishment, but you're experiencing a void, maybe your tribe just isn't able to be what it needs to be for you right now. They have a lot of other things going on. There are things that you're lacking in your life, and you're like, I just don't know how I'm going to get through this, and I am not feeling the love, and if I don't feel the love, I don't know how I can get nourishment in my love. I'm telling you, when you need it and you can't find it, go to the cross. Go to the cross. There was no greater love. There was no greater expression of the love of God, of the love of the Father when he sent his son Jesus and he outstretched his arms on the cross. Go to the cross. That's your nourishment. When I feel unloved, I go to the cross. There's no greater love. There's no final expression. See, Jesus is the answer. It's not Jesus and it's Jesus. Only Jesus. He is more than enough. And in him you lack no good thing. No good thing. The third question this morning is, can my love flourish when the world is distancing my reach? See, we want to love people. We want to care for people in this time. We want to reach out. We want to do the things that we feel called to do. But when the world is distancing my reach, when I walk through the supermarket and people are scared to come within 6 feet of me, and I'm scared to come within 6 feet of them, and all those feelings and struggles that we're not used to feeling or struggling with, can my love flourish within this context? You know what? A different view is sometimes all we need. Come on, family. Come on, friends. You hear me this morning. A different view is sometimes all we need, because we can look at change and challenge as negative, when actuality, change and challenge will freshen our viewpoint. It will broaden our ability to glean differently. See, before this time, we saw things a certain way, and then we woke up and it was different, and forever our eyes have been changed, never to go back to the way we saw things before. We have forever been changed. You think this is a bad thing? I challenge that this can be good. This can be good. God can take in the midst of this struggle and this pain, and He can bring greatness out of it because it can broaden our viewpoint to glean. See, up close, you can see the details of something. You can see the intricacies. You can see everything in focus. But from a distance, you get the whole picture. The whole picture. See, it's impossible to see everything right here when you're in someone's face. But from afar, when you take a step back, you get the rare opportunity to take a minute, to breathe it in, to pause, and to see it like you've never seen it before. Glean from afar. Glean from afar. Discover what you couldn't see when you were too close to see it. See, sometimes the saying says we can't see the forest for the trees. There's so much to learn in this time and in this season. See, the micro is vital, but the macro equally so. The macro view helps us love the micro bigger, wider, and larger. It helps us see further. It moves our narrow focus to eyes wide open. Open to outside the boundaries of what we're used to. Open to outside the parameters of the norm. See, when we see the masses, it will help us love the one. This is how we'll flourish. See, new view will stimulate new creativity in your life. And new creativity will cause a planting of new seeds, and new seeds produce. It'll produce in your life, and it'll produce in other people's lives. And they will bloom, and they will multiply themselves. I believe with all of my heart that this is a season of multiplication and advancement. It may not look like that. It may look like subtraction and recoil. But I believe if we take the wide view, we will see things differently. If you feel distance, if you feel segregated, you need to be reminded this morning that love, His love, transcends space. When Jesus was suspended between heaven and earth, and He was untouched by humanity, there was never a greater love. He had never had a better view of the earth while on the earth than in that moment. In your suspension, in your pause, while the world takes a deep breath in, take a moment to see. Take a moment to understand. Take a moment to give differently. To be exactly what you were meant to be and do exactly what you were meant to do. Galatians chapter 6 and verse 9 and 10 says, so let's not allow ourselves to get fatigued in doing good. Because at the right time, we will harvest a good crop if we do not give up or quit. Right now, therefore, every time we get a chance, let us work for the benefit of all, starting with the people closest to us in the community of faith. Don't recoil. Don't waste your time. Don't worry about the things that may or may not be. But be strong. Advance in the power of His might. And above all, love. Love. This is truly a gifted season to all of us. It's a gifted season to give, to grow, and to glean like we never have before. Lastly, this morning, before I end, I want to invite you into family, into adoption. Maybe you're watching right now, or you'll watch later when you see it on a friend's feed. And you don't have a relationship with Jesus like you feel like you could. It's like there's something missing. There is a void. There's a cry in your life going out for more. I want to take a moment right now and invite you to change that. You don't have to live this way anymore. You don't have to be fearful of what's to come. You can have an assurance and a peace and a hope that transcends and a love that goes beyond the borders. This morning, if you want that, this is your invitation into it. In 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 30, it says, "But it is from him that you are in Christ, who became to us wisdom from God, revealing his plan of salvation, and righteousness, making us acceptable to him, and sanctification, making us holy, and redemption, which is paying the price for our mistakes." Jesus came, and in his coming, he revealed the plan to save the world. He still has a plan to save the world this morning. He is with you. He is here. He is in your living room. He is in your car. He is in your kitchen. Wherever you are, wherever you're listening right now, he is there and he is with you. And he is ready and willing to come into your life and make that change. He still has the plan to save the world. And it starts with saving you. In this decision, you become righteous, which is purity. In this decision, you become sanctified, which is perfect in him. And in this decision this morning, you become redeemed. You are redeemed. You are paid for. You lack nothing anymore. You are redeemed in him. It takes a simple conversation with the Father to say, you know what, I want that. In your own words. So you can do that right now in your own time. And if you do, I want to encourage you today to reach out to someone. Maybe the Crosspoint online pastor that's talking on our feed right now. Maybe someone that you got this website from, and a friend of yours that you know. Reach out and tell them what you did. Why? Because one, we want to walk with you, and two, we want to celebrate you this morning. Yes, hurt people do hurt people. Maybe they do. But free people. And that is our job, and that is our mandate. To free, to love, to support, to be there. No matter what, even in the harshest environment, we can do it because he is greater, he is willing, he is in us. In this world, the Bible says you will have trouble, but take heart. For I, says Jesus, have overcome the world. Friends, he's got the whole world in his hands, and he's overcome. God bless you this morning. God bless you in your home as you go about your day and about your week. I'm going to close off and I'm going to pray for you. In Jesus' name, Father, I pray for everyone that's listening. Everyone that's watching this morning, I pray that you would be with them in a new way, in a fresh way that they have never felt before. I pray that your presence would be with them all day, even those that have been experiencing fear or concern, that today they've experienced peace and rest. We thank you for what you've done in our lives, and we thank you for what you are doing in this earth. In your name. And everybody said, in every home, in every place that you're listening to the sound of my voice, amen. God bless you.